light up the sky at the Pingxi Sky Lantern Festival. Today, you can launch sky lanterns on any day you want, but the festival usually occurs in February. It is to mark the end of the Lunar New Year celebrations. During the festival, visitors will flock into Pingxi to celebrate together. Start by using a marker or an ink brush to write your wishes on the sky lantern. Most of the wishes are about happiness, safety, and health. Wishes about reaching certain goals or success in certain fields are also common. Then, find an open spot with no buildings around to set off your sky lantern. A triangular wire piece is attached to the bottom of the sky lantern to hold the joss paper. The paper will serve as fuel. Next, light the joss paper. You need to gently open the sky lantern until all four corners are level. When the sky lantern is filled with hot air, gently release it and watch it float away. Remember to take photos to capture the beautiful moment. The sight of thousands of sky lanterns floating together is truly unforgettable.
Hello everyone, welcome to English for You. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
And we are back with our visit to Pingxi during the wonderful Sky Lantern Festival season. That's right, it's an annual tradition. It usually happens just after the end of Chinese New Year. And lots of people, both from Taiwan and around the world, will be heading up into the mountains of Pingxi in, is that New Taipei City? I guess it is. Yeah, it's New Taipei City.
Yeah, it's New Taipei.
They'll be heading up there in large numbers, so be patient and be careful to travel in large groups. Maybe bring as many friends in one car as possible, because I'm sure getting there by train or car is a bit of a headache. Finding parking spots and whatnot would require some patience and a little bit of determination. But once you get up there, man, it's going to be pretty cool. They have these sky lanterns. You can make your own, or buy some that are already made. You write your wishes on them, send them up into the sky, and then take thousands of pictures because it is going to be absolutely beautiful. So let's get back to our article and find out more about what we would expect to find there up at Pingxi during the Sky Lantern Festival season.
I can't wait.
All right, so let's get to the article. It says, today you can launch sky lanterns on any day you want, but it says the festival usually occurs in February. It's usually part of the Lantern Festival. So that, of course, is just after Chinese New Year in the month of February or so. It is to mark the end of the Lunar New Year celebrations. So it's to mark or to sort of signify or notice the end of the Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year celebrations. If we say something occurs, that means it happens, it takes place, there is an event. And when that event goes on, that event occurs. All right. So if you write things down in your calendar or in your schedule or something like that, you're writing down when the thing will occur. And if you want to be there, then you have to organize your life around that. So if your friend says, hey, do you want to come to the big concert with me? You'll say, when is it? You want to know when the concert will occur. That kind of idea. For example, the Chinese New Year holiday usually occurs near the end of January or the beginning of February. And yes, we can often use words like happen or take place in the same way that we would use the word occur.
所以 occur 就是发生。Incidents like this tend to occur frequently in crowded areas. 所以 Lunar New Year 就是农历新年， celebration 就是庆祝的活动。所以你可以在任何想要的日子里面放天灯哦。但节日通常是在2月份举行，就是标示着呢这个农历新年庆祝活动的结束。
Okay, back to our article. During the festival, visitors will flock into Pingxi to celebrate together. Wow, so that gives us an idea of the crowds of people. People mountain, people sea is how I would probably describe it. I think there's a Chinese term for that, right? Ren Shan Ren Hai. When people go in large numbers, we would often use this verb to flock. A flock can actually be a noun for a group of animals. A big group of birds flying in the air is a flock of birds. Or if you see a large number of sheep in a field on a farm, you'd say, oh, look, there's a flock of sheep. But we can also use it as a verb to say to go to a place in large numbers. People flock to the opening of a new department store because they all want to go there and check it out and maybe save some money on the special sales. People will flock to the big stadium downtown when there's a baseball game or a concert going on. There's a lot of people going together at one time to one place. They are flocking to that place. For example, tourists flock to the Louvre in Paris to see the beautiful and famous art there. I think on any day you would go to that famous museum, there would be a lot of other tourists just like you coming to see things like the Mona Lisa.
所以 flock 就是聚集蜂拥的意思。所以在节日期间呢，游客会聚集在平溪一起庆祝。
Back to our article. It says, start by using a marker or an ink brush to write your wishes on the sky lantern. Okay, that's a good way to do it. I think if you go at other times of the year when people aren't flocking there in such large numbers, you can actually make your own sky lantern. But yeah, if there's tons of people there, if there are thousands of people there, you might just buy them already made. So once you have your sky lantern, either by buying it or by making it, you can get a marker or an ink brush to write your wishes on the sky lantern. I've seen people write their names, seen people write their name and where they come from, maybe if they're tourists. And they also might write wishes like good health or, happiness or something like that. And that is exactly what they want to happen. That is their wish that they want carried into the sky by their beautiful sky lantern.
所以其实我觉得呢很好玩，他们用那个马克笔啊或毛笔在这个天灯写下来的愿望。I think I prefer an ink brush.
Oh, that would kind of be more traditional, wouldn't
it?
You'd definitely want to write something very beautiful using those beautiful ink brushes. And what would you write? Well, we've given you a few ideas. It says most of the wishes are about happiness, safety, and health. So happiness for you, safety, maybe you're traveling and you want to have safety on your journey. And health, both for you and, maybe you have an older grandma or grandpa whose health you're a little worried about, so you can wish for their good health and yours as well. It also says wishes about reaching certain goals or success in certain fields are also common. Oh, okay. Help me train and complete the marathon next month, or help me graduate from college and get good grades, or help me pass that exam and become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. That's the third wish they kind of have there. Success in certain fields, it says, are also common. A field, here we're not talking about a big grassy green area like you would find on a farm. A farmer has many fields that the animals graze in or that the farmer grows things in. No, here a field is a certain type of activity or endeavor that people do. We often use this to talk about things you might study at school or things you might do as a type of work. What field are you in is me basically saying, what kind of work do you do? Oh, you're a business person? What field are you in? What kind of company do you work for? A computer company, a car company, an airplane company? Or what field are you studying in school? Oh, I'm studying law. I'm studying medicine. I'm studying art. So these types of things we can also use to use this word field to describe. For example, like her mother, Shelley pursued a career in the field of medicine. So maybe her mother's a doctor, a pharmacist, a nurse, something like that. But that is the field of medicine. That is that area of study and work.
所以 field 就是领域的意思哦，那它就是范围。所以比如说呢，她想要进到什么样的领域 ？She aims to enter the field of environmental science， 或者是在什么领域里面 ，He is well respected in the field of technology， 它代表他在科技领域呢是非常受到尊重的。所以大部分的愿望都是关于幸福啦、安全或者是健康。那关于实现某些目标或在特定领域取得成功的愿望也蛮常见的。
All right, back to our article. Then, so once you've written your wish and you've thought very carefully about what you want to write on it, then it says find an open spot with no buildings around to set off your sky lantern. All right, so find an open spot, of course, with nothing overhead. So no buildings around, but also look out for trees, look out for power lines and telephone wires and things like that. You don't want to have your sky lantern have a very short flight and bump into something, or even worse, catch something on fire. That would be terrible. So just basically make sure that there's a big amount of open sky over your head. And then you can set off or let off your sky lantern. You can release it and watch it float up into the sky.
然后呢，你就可以找到一个周围都没有建筑物的空旷地点来放你的天灯。
Okay, so how does this actually work? It says a triangular wire piece is attached to the bottom of the sky lantern to hold the joss paper. So if you actually have the lantern in your hand, you will see that this is how it is constructed. This is how it is made. There's a triangular, so triangular like a triangle in shape, i.e. a three-sided shape. And it's made of wire, this piece, and it's attached to the bottom of the lantern. So yes, triangular means it has the shape of a triangle, like three sides. And wire, a wire is a long, thin piece of metal. We use wire to carry electricity. If you plug something in, the plug will usually be black, kind of rubber or plastic. But if you cut that open, and don't cut it open, but if you've ever seen one of those things inside, there will often be thin pieces of probably copper wire, kind of an orangish, shiny orangish color wire. And that long, thin piece of metal carries electricity from the wall, from the plug to your TV or air conditioner or whatever it is. For example, Maddie makes beautiful original jewelry using wire and colorful beads. So it doesn't have a lot of gold and diamonds on it, but it is still very attractive.
所以呢 triangular 就是三角形嘛的意思的，但不是三角形的，因为它是形容词哦，因为 triangle 是三角形。那个我们看到 attach 这边是动词，是固定的意思。wire 呢就是金属线、金属丝或者是电线，比如说 they need to connect the devices with wire for proper functionality。所以纸钱呢跟金纸的英文就是 joss paper。天灯底部附有一个三角形的金属丝，是用来固定纸钱用的。
Okay, so another good thing about wire, of course, is that because it's made of metal, it doesn't burn. So it can hold this joss paper. The joss paper is what will burn. As the article says, the paper will serve as fuel. Next, light the joss paper. So you're basically starting the motor of your hot air balloon. If you want to think of it that way, the joss paper will serve as fuel. As it says, fuel is basically what you burn or use up to create energy. When we think of fuel, a lot of us will think of gas, like we buy at the gas station. It's a liquid. You pump it into your motorcycle or car, and then the engine of the car will burn that gas, and that will make the engine work, and that will turn the wheels, and your car will then go. We can also use food as fuel in our bodies, right? When we get tired, when we run out of energy, we don't go to the gas station. No, we go to the fridge, we go to the kitchen or a restaurant, and we eat food. And then our body burns that food in our muscles, but just by being alive, and that gives us energy to stand, walk, talk, think, do things, in other words. Here, we're going to be using paper as fuel. The paper will basically burn, and then it will heat up the air inside the balloon, inside the lantern, and that lighter, warmer air will then rise up. This is basic physics. This is how hot air balloons work. So basically, instead of using gas, like they do on big modern hot air balloons, they burn gas to make very hot flames that create a lot of hot air. We're using a little piece of paper to make a little flame that makes a little bit of hot air that will lift our little paper lantern. So you light the joss paper. You'll need a cigarette lighter or, something like that, a candle. You need to gently open the sky lantern until all four corners are level. That's a good tip. So don't just immediately let it go. Once you've lit the joss paper, it will just land on the ground and probably catch on fire. And that's the end of your sky lantern. That's no fun. So you need to let it gently open, basically let the hot air fill the lantern until you let it go. But of course, here we're using paper as fuel. We have an example sentence here. It says, this is an electric train, so it doesn't need to burn fuel to work. It works on electricity instead.
对，所以呢，我们来看一下这个 fuel， 它就是燃料的意思。所以你可以说 they plan to add fuel to the fire of the ongoing project. 可是它是动力来源的意思，这边就不是燃料咯。那有什么东西提供动力呢？就是什么东西 is fueled by something， 就是有什么提供动力嘛。所以我们可以说，比如说这台老旧的车 this old car is fueled by gas。所以纸钱呢将作为燃料，接着点燃香纸，你只要轻轻的撑开天灯，四个角都平齐，就可以开始放天灯了。
That's a good question. I wonder if they could ever make electric-powered sky lanterns.
Oh, true.
I wonder if that would be good. It would certainly prevent the risk of forest fires, I suppose, but that's much more intelligent people will have to do that than me. Back to the article. So here we are. We've lit our Joss paper. We're filling the balloon or the lantern with hot air. And it says, when the sky lantern is filled with hot air and all those corners are filled out, it'll look kind of like, the top of a mushroom, basically, or a hot air balloon, as you would imagine. Once it's filled with hot air, gently release it and watch it float away. Don't throw it into the sky or anything like that. This is not a fighter plane. It's not supposed to be going at huge amounts of speed. Just kind of hold your hand open like you would with a bird, kind of, or a butterfly, and just watch it sort of rise up out of your hand, powered by this hot air. It says, next, remember to take photos to capture the beautiful moment. The sight of thousands of sky lanterns floating together is truly unforgettable.
所以这个天灯呢，充满热空气，轻轻放开它，不要像刚刚麦克老师讲丢到天空，你要轻轻放开它，让它飘走。
To capture something is basically to hold on to it. You can capture an animal, like if an animal escapes from the zoo, they'll chase it with nets. They'll try to corner it and get it back in a cage. They try to capture that animal, as the police will try to capture a criminal if they're out there free running around doing crime. But we can also use this to talk about sort of freezing a moment. You capture a moment by taking a picture of it or just by making a really good memory of it. So later on, when you think back to that time or that event, you go, oh yeah, I can almost see it in my mind. My memory or this photo really captures it. And other times we do it in a more artistic kind of way. A poem or a painting or a song can capture a mood. Have you ever listened to a song or seen a painting that immediately makes you feel happy or sad or filled with wonder? Well, that artist has done a very good job of sort of freezing that moment, that emotion, that feeling, so that anyone who looks at that painting or listens to that music later on will get the same emotion or the same feeling. I think music is a good example of this. For example, we could say this piece of music by Vivaldi perfectly captures the beauty of the seasons. Yeah, the famous Four Seasons by Vivaldi. If you listen to it, you can almost in your mind and imagination picture the different seasons of the year.
所以呢，这个 capture 就是拍摄的意思或捕捉。不过它有刚刚老师讲到，比如说你被抓到了，比如说这个什么嫌疑犯被抓到的 ，the suspect has already been captured， 这个嫌疑犯被抓到了。但是在这我们的文章中是拍照的意思，所以记得拍照捕捉这美好的瞬间，成千上万的天灯一起漂浮的景象，真的是令人难以忘怀。所以喜欢我们的节目，赶快按赞追踪我们的 YouTube 跟 Facebook， 不要忘记开启小铃铛。掌握第一手的英文学习内容。
All right, so we have our For You Chat question before we say goodbye. What kinds of wishes would you write on your sky lantern for the festival?
Health, safety, and abundance.
Health, safety, and abundance. That is a great bunch of wishes. My wish would be, I hope I get my car out of the parking lot in Pingxi in the next hour. I hope I get home soon.
I love that.
So I could be stuck in traffic for hours.
True.
All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your sky lanterns and be careful out there. Have a good time, but also respect the environment and each other. We'll see you back here soon. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Occur. The car accident occurred on this road at 8 a.m. this morning. It's lucky that no one was hurt. Flock. Millions of people flock to the Eiffel Tower in Paris each year to enjoy its beauty. Field. The field of science is always getting larger and more advanced because of the progress we make. Wire. The gate was closed with a small piece of wire that someone put on the handle. Fuel. Jacob's car stopped on his way to work because there was not enough fuel in it. Capture. As an artist, Henry is good at capturing the beauty of everyday moments.
智慧小补帖 Lunar New Year. Celebration. Triangular. Attach. Joss paper.